Good evening, this is Rovers TV brought to you by DJL Fencing. Welcome to the LD Nutrition Stadium for this evening pre-season friendly between Featherstone Rovers and Leeds Rhinos. Your lineups tonight are: at fullback for Featherstone Rovers, Ian Hardman. On the wings, Luke Briscoe and Sean Robinson. In the centres, Josh Hardcastle and Missy Talapapa. Standoff is Martin Ridyard. Scrum half is Tom Holmes. Props are Scott Wheeldon and Sam Brooks. Hooker is Keil Carlisle. Second row, Connor Farrell and John Davis. Loose forward, Frankie Mariano. The interchangers for Featherstone tonight are James Lockwood, Danny Maskell, Luke Cooper, Brad Knowles, Matty Wildy, Gareth Gale, Gareth Hawke and Richard Moore. Head coach is John Duffy. The Leeds Rhinos lineup: at fullback, Ash Golding. On the wings, Dakota Wiley and Harry Newman. In the centre, Ash Handley and Jimmy Kinehorst. Standoff is Jordan Lilly. Scrum half is Harvey Spence. Props are Mitch Garbett and Nathaniel Peteru. Hooker is Corey Johnson. Second row, Josh Walters and Jack Ormonroyd. Loose forward, Anthony Mullally. Interchangers, Jack Walker, Cameron Smith, Ben Markland, Josh Jordan Roberts, Tyler Dupre, Owen Trout and Thomas Holroyd. Referee is Mr. J McMullen. So this is Rovers TV, like I say, brought to you by DJL Fencing. My name's Joanne Fitzpatrick. Tonight joining me are Joe Crabtree and Joe Needley. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Joe.
Good evening, Joe.
Okay, so biggest talking point tonight, it's got to be Gareth Hawke's debut for Featherstone Rovers. He's on the bench.
Yeah, well, I mean, fantastic player, Joe. I mean, without a doubt, because I mean, all the quality he's got. He's played international, and what his special game really has got to be his attacking prowess. The way he can easily offload a ball, and let's also not forget his ability to be a passionate figure, loosely putting it. The way he's caused some tensions to flare over the years.
Yeah, definitely. Hugely exciting for everyone who's turned up tonight. That is the main thing they want to see if they're a Featherstone fan. Gareth Hawke go out on the field and just for the first time ever impose himself on this stadium. Don't think we'll see an awful lot of him tonight, but that's not what it's about. It's just him getting a feel for the place and ready to hit the championship running.
It certainly is, yeah. I think there's a lot of anticipation from Featherstone Rovers fans to see Gareth Hawke in Featherstone Rovers colours and to see what he does. Like you say, Joe, possibly not going to get that many minutes tonight. We want to save him for the Halifax game, no doubt, and hit the ground running there. Got Anthony Thackeray out with concussion tonight, so Ian Harman starts at fullback.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a bit of a big miss for Thax tonight, but I mean, he has actually done well rotating to fullback, as we've seen over this pre-season. I mean, his ability to return the ball, his defence has been outstanding as well. But I mean, no doubt in Ian Hardman, he's back tonight, and he returns to his captaincy role as well. And it's his first start as that this pre-season so far. So I mean, it just goes to show Featherstone's quality in terms of depth there. Thackeray out, you've got Hardman to return as well, and it just goes to show what a good job that we've done in terms of recruitment so far this pre-season, and hopefully it can be on show in full tonight.
And just talking about the strength in depth, we've got three hookers available tonight as well in Maskell, Carlisle and Wildy.
Yeah, Keil Carlisle makes his return after not making an appearance last week. You know what you can expect from Keil Carlisle. He's always going to be a solid performer, and he's the one who gets the nod for the start tonight. Maskell, it's his final chance to impress down here. He's looking for that all-important contract. He's looking to stay down here at the LD Nutrition. We're going to expect something from him tonight.
We're talking to Tom Holmes in the match preview, and he was talking about his partnership with Martin Ridyard. It's his fourth game as a partnership. It seems to be going well. Not ideal conditions last week to practice that, though.
No, well, there was a bit of drop ball, wasn't there, as we discussed on Gantry, but no, I mean, yeah, Tom's doing really well. I mean, he showed that he has the he shows he has the capability to be something good. I mean, you saw last year a highlight of his that full-length try scored against Leeds Forecast at the Magic weekend. I mean, that was a highlight. I mean, from what he's done so far, I mean, his kicking game has been outstanding. I think his sidestepping, his passing, and it's his ability as well. I mean, his enthusiasm to be involved in the action, and I mean, to he's working really well with Rudyard, and that's good to have an experienced player and a young player there together. So, I mean, he can learn a lot from Rudyard as he goes forward, can Tom Holmes, and I think tonight will really benefit him because it's his second taste of Super League action, well, against a Super League side here. I mean, Leeds might be a bit weak, but all the same, it's to do him good, and I think it'll really have him ready for the Halifax game next week, Joe.
Just talking about that Leeds Rhinos side, Joe, it is a young side, isn't it? There's only 5, I think, out of their numbers 1 to 20 in the squad this week. What are your standout players that you'll be looking for in the Leeds team tonight?
Well, to me, that Leeds team looks like a bit of a shopping list for John Duffy, Joe. A lot of these players are the kind of players he's going to have available to him on dual registration. Some familiar faces like Jack Ormonroyd and Anthony Mullally for the Featherstone fans. From a Leeds perspective, they'll be interested to see what the Kiwi from Gold Coast Titans, Nathaniel Pateru, can do. But perhaps the most interesting for me are the 2 16-year-olds in the team, Ben Markland and Thomas Holroyd. Apparently they had good performances against Coventry Bears last week. They've got their chance tonight, but it's against an experienced Featherstone side, and that's going to be some step up for them.
It is an experienced Featherstone side. It's the last run out for this side before they play Halifax next Sunday. So John Duffy will be looking to get some of those things right that they've been practicing over the previous weeks. We're going to go live just before 7:30 for this game on Rovers TV for commentary. So subscribers, please join us then. This is Rovers TV. My name is Joanne Fitzpatrick. Joining me on commentary tonight are Joe Needley and Joe Crabtree. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Joanne.
Good evening, Joe.
Considerably warmer since last Sunday. It's fairly tropical this evening here in Featherstone. Just awaiting for the teams to come out, and here they do come out. Leeds Rhinos and Featherstone Rovers entering the field this evening. Just as we're saying, it's a dry evening, probably perfect conditions for a game of rugby league.
Well, Joe, I mean, I'm just grateful it isn't like Sunday all over again, because my God, it was so difficult that day. But and that was us up here. I can't imagine what it'd have been like on the pitch for the players out there. But well done to them for going in the conditions. And here they are tonight for taking on the Super League, the current Super League champions. Okay, only a handful are in there that were actually part of the grand final winning team. But yeah, it could be a really good game tonight. And if you could call it this, you could see a Fev pull off possibly a giant kill. I mean, Joe, wouldn't you agree there, mate?
Yeah, I would say this is the perfect final pre-season game for preparation. It's good conditions out there, but it is still pretty cold, which is the kind of conditions they can expect in those first couple of games of the championship. They're against nothing but full-time opponents, along with some academy players thrown in, but they are inexperienced players, so there's definitely weaknesses for Featherstone to exploit. That's exactly the kind of opposition they're going to face in the championship at the top level, so it's perfect preparation.
And you're right about the conditions. John Duffy did say that. He said, yeah, okay, it was bad conditions against York last Sunday, but it could well be like that when we face Halifax, when we face Toulouse in those first 2 home games of the season. So it's always got to be considered. Featherstone Rovers just waiting for a ball there. The referee's just asking for one to come onto the pitch. Featherstone are going to be playing towards the Post Office Road end, and they're going to kick off to Leeds Rhinos, so they'll be going down the slope in this first half. Martin Ridyard has got the ball now and is just putting it on the kicking tee.
Well, I mean, hopefully he could get a good kick-off get done here as well. So the fact is, though, Joe, Ridyard does kick us off now. Wonder what they'll come up with, because it's going to bounce, Joe, and yeah, Leeds will come up with it. I think that's Dakota Wiley, but yeah, just got to get off to a good start and really get in the youngsters' faces here as we start the game.
Yeah, so Leeds just short of that 20-metre line with the ball in hand, dealt with the kick-off from Ridyard very well, and they're driving it forward. Featherstone players in on the tackle quickly. That was on Mitch Garbett, familiar figure there, and that's a great drive forward. That's a good 10 metres made by the Leeds player.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was very good defence there, Bafa, but as Leeds come again, I think that's Mullally taking it in. They're actually, looking at Leeds' part there, they're actually quite big despite having so many youngsters there, as Garbett now takes it in again. So Fed, they might have their work cut out in defence tonight, but that's the last tackle, and 40 metres made. Not too bad from Fed there, Joe.
Not too bad. The kick comes from Jordan Lilly. It's a high one. It's going to be for Luke Briscoe to take. It's a good chase from Leeds. They were all on side and they managed to capture Briscoe as he lands onto the floor.
Well, though, it should have been a penalty, that, because Briscoe jumped in the air then. He was tackled in the air by the Leeds players. He did well to take it and also did well to avoid a potential injury. But, Fev coming away with the ball now. I just thought I'd point that out. A little bit controversy, but he's missed it and you play on, and as Fev are doing here.
You do. John Davis has got the ball now on the 40-metre line. It comes across with Tom Holmes. He's spreading it out to Ridyard, and Featherstone giving the ball some early air here as Ian Harmon takes it over the halfway line and gets put to the floor. Carlisle in at dummy half, back to Ridyard. And now to Scott Wheeldon, who goes on a ranging run up to the 40-metre. It's the last tackle, so it's coming out to the left-hand side, and the kick comes in, floats over the top, going towards that left-hand corner, and Ash Golding's going to leave it to go into touch. Not a bad end to the set there for Featherstone.
Well, there was some excellent play there, and same he said about Ridyard's delicate kick there, and even then, back in the builder, they actually had the overlap there, did Fev. Ian Hardman, a bit unlucky not to get the ball out, and then Scott Wheeldon driving the ball down the middle. Got Featherstone the hard yards as well, but a very good end to the set there, and Joe, wouldn't you agree? I mean, they've got some good field position here.
We said tonight it was about preparation for Featherstone, and if they can execute sets like that at the start of the championship, John Duffy will be a very happy coach. Perfect set completion, a kick into the corner. When you're taking a kick in your own 30 metres, that's an ideal set. Anything else is a bonus.
So the scrum has been set on the 10 metre and comes out at the back, and Featherstone defence is in there quickly on that first tackle from the scrum. It's been driven forward now once again.
I think that's Mitch Garbutt again. I mean, Then again, he's him and Mullally there. It must be said, they are a bit hard to miss, aren't they?
Battering rams, aren't they, both of them? And now Pateru, I think it is, that's got the ball, and he looks to offload it, which he does. So Leeds bringing it away, and Featherstone allowed Pateru to offload the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, very good at getting the ball away then. They come down here, that's good tackle by Ridyard, by Briscoe. But I mean, as we say there, Leslie's putting the kick here into space there. But Featherstone once again, Sean Robinson will get his first touch. It's now whether they can execute a good set here. I mean, Joe, you in agreement there?
Definitely.
Sean Robinson.
Great return from Robinson over on that left side. So direct, but then always on the lookout for the edge.
Yeah, it was Sean Robinson with that return from the kick. Looked to be zippy. He always looks dangerous when he has the ball. And Featherstone get the ball away now to Ian Hardman.
Talapapa there finding the offload, looking for that second phase. Featherstone's strength coming to the fore there now as Ridyard brings it along. Holmes with the ball on this right flank. Great work from the Rovers, looking expansive in their own half.
I was going to say, that was very unlucky again, because they wet the ball out there, Joanne, and they managed to get the overlap there. They just couldn't get the ball out, but I mean, there's some very positive signs there early on.
Scott Wheeldon taking it over the halfway line now in this set of 6, and bringing it away. It just goes to ground, does the pass there, so Featherstone lose a little bit of momentum and get pushed back, and it's the last tackle. So the kick comes from dummy half from Keil Carlisle. He's going towards that left-hand corner once again, but the ball is retrieved by Leeds, and they're bringing it back with Ash Golding, and
Scott
he
evades the pouncing first. Up on Golding. Fantastic work from the prop forward. Not often you see your prop as the first man in the kick chase, but he made his effort up there and put in a great shot to start the set.
Well, I must say that really does have the saying of bring back the biff there, Joanne.
It does, yeah, because Ash Golding had evaded the first tackler, and then Scott Wheeldon came in and put him back onto the floor. So Harry Newman now plays the ball and comes to Jordan Lilly. He takes it across the line and lays it off, and the ball's taken forward. Jack Ormonroyd, is it, that's got that there?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, and now it's been brought forward by Pateru. He's 25 metres away from that Featherstone line. It's the last tackle, comes out to the right-hand side with Lilly. Lilly puts a kick up. It's a high one for Robinson to take, but he's confident. He takes it well and gets engulfed by 2 Leeds tacklers.
Well, pardon me for saying this, but a man considerably short height. He did very well there to contend and get the ball there, because, I mean, it was a well-positioned kick there by Lilly, who's captaining the Rhinos tonight. But, as long as they can get another strong set here, and they've got the first penalty, Joanne.
They have, not clearing the ruck sufficiently there, Leeds Rhinos. So, first penalty goes to Featherstone for holding down.
Featherstone's dominance down the middle there, coming to the fore. Keil Carlisle looking for the quick play of the ball, and Featherstone being ready for that it's earning them the penalty and ultimately earning them that field position.
6 minutes gone in this game. It is still scoreless, so Featherstone just 10 metres in their own half, taking this tap from that penalty. Ball's driven forward. Carlisle's waiting at dummy half. It's going to come into the middle. Featherstone get into the Leeds half now and going once again in the middle with Scott Wheeldon. He bashes off the first attempted tackle by Jack Ormonroyd, and now it's coming along the line once again with Featherstone, and Josh Hardcastle takes it up just short of the 20-metre line.
Well, I must say, Wheeldon, just quickly, that last running that he did, has come down the blind side there. Oh, Davis gets the ball away. But I mean, Wheeldon with that last running, I mean, we'll mention what you said earlier, a batter. I mean, I say something, such a run took him back to his young days, I bet there. It's the last tackle.
It's the last tackle now, and it comes across to Tom Holmes. Tom Holmes passes it out to Ridyard. Ridyard with a long pass to Robinson. He had to backtrack to take it, so he lost a little bit of momentum. It's the turnover as he gets tackled.
Last tackle play, it's worth going for the Hollywood pass in that position. It was a higher percentage play then going for the kick, and on another day, Robinson might well be over there in the corner.
Yep, so Leeds 10 metres away from their own line, bring it up, and it's not a bad place to turn the ball over, although they're making good ground up the field. Mitch Garbett, once again, he's causing all sorts of problems, and as Joe said before, it's that Garbett drive and then the Mullally drive that Leeds are employing effectively tonight. But Featherstone got them tackled. They're still 15 metres short of half line, and they're bringing it away with Josh Walters.
Well, I'll tell you something, Joanne, Garbett really is one to watch, given not only his experience, but I think last season he top Leeds round as his metres made with, well, I think up to nearly 3,000. So, I mean, that stat alone is one to watch. But that's a big hit there.
They've got the ball away, they'll have Leeds, and to say there were 4 or 5 Featherstone players, you can't be allowing that to happen. And then the ball's knocked back by Tom Holmes as Corey Johnson was trying to pass it, and it's back to one, and now Leeds are down this left wing, and they're going to put the player Dakota Wiley into touch, so that's great defence by Featherstone, but they're bringing it back for the first knock-on.
Yeah, first knock-on there for me. Featherstone could have had the ball even earlier. 4 men it took to take the ball off Pateru, but once it came out for me, it came forward. Sure enough, though, Featherstone got off possession here, the Leeds rather, from this scrum, so it was a great effort to get Wiley out to the touch over on this near side, but they're going to have it all to do again here on defensive set.
Yeah, the scrum's going to be set on that halfway line. Harvey Spencer is going to put the ball into the scrum. Referee not happy with the way that the scrum was set. He's just having a chat with John Davis and asking them to sort themselves out. So Spence is going to have to feed this scrum again on that halfway line, like I say. Comes out the back, and it's taken forward, and nice sidestep round Cale Carlisle it was to take the ball forward by Ash Golding, and now Mitch Garbett causing the Featherstone defence all sorts of problems tonight. He's such a strong player, and the 30 metres out from the Featherstone line, it comes to Jordan Lilly. Lilly lays it off to Pateru, who's tackled well to the floor. 20 metres out. Well,
Davis really landed him up there and putting a fantastic tackle, but the danger's not over as Leeds are still on the attack.
Jordan Lilly it is, who tries to round the Featherstone defence, but they get him to the floor. It's 10 metres out now, coming down that right-hand side. Good tackle coming in, 5 metres out, and it's the last tackle. Comes back, and the kick comes through, and it's fielded well by Featherstone, so they survive, although Leeds are going for the pushback. That's great chase on the kick by Leeds, and good defence to push the Featherstone player back behind his own try line, so it's forced to drop out.
Great work to recover it from the Rovers, but this Leeds side determined, earning the repeat set. They showed when they're on attack, it might be a young Leeds outfit there, but they're certainly dangerous.
They certainly are, yeah, and they're showing keenness and eagerness as well, aren't they, in both attack and defence. So it's a good test for Featherstone, is this. The kick comes, the drop out, and Mitch Garbett is at collects it. You don't want to see him running back at you.
Well, the thing is, Joe, I mean, all these Leeds players, they've got to try their hardest to impress Brian McDermott and get in the third. I mean, after all, they're not 8-time Super League champions for nothing.
20 metres out, Leeds are now, and plenty of tackles in the bag. Jordan Lilly passes it to Spence, but he knocks on surely there. The referee's not giving it, but it doesn't matter because the ball's thrown into touch. So the referee's going to bring the play back. It's a scrum and it's a put into Featherstone, just short of the Featherstone 20. 11 minutes gone, 12 minutes gone in this game, and it is still scoreless, 0-0.
James Lockwood looking to be struggling over there, but the physio gives it the thumbs up. Featherstone and Leeds players alike then taking on fluids ahead of this scrum. Quite unusual that at this stage in the game we've not really had many stoppages so far.
We haven't, and it has fooled me because James Lockwood wasn't actually on the starting lineup, was he? But he's certainly started tonight, presumably in place of Mariano.
Well, I mean, I'll say this quickly. Going back to that previous play, what people might have failed to realise there, a little bit of rugby league justice there, because the referee, I thought it was a knock-on, but he went play on before the ball was thrown into touch, so a little bit of hidden justice there for Featherstone in case anyone didn't notice.
Featherstone bringing it up towards this 40-metre line then, in their own half still. Carlisle in at dummy half. It comes to Ridyard. Ridyard shows it to a couple of players, gets it to Holmes. Holmes to Davis. Davis is in clear space. He's taking it forward. He's looking for the offload. He's not able to get it. The Leeds defence comes in, but Featherstone make it up to the Leeds 20. Hardcastle in at dummy. Gets it to Holmes. Holmes with a long-rangey pass out to Lockwood, and then it comes out to this left-hand side, and the ball's put on the inside, and Featherstone are up to the 10-metre line now, but it is the last tackle. A little bit of messing around at the ruck, and the referee's called it and given the penalty to Featherstone.
Great option from Holmes over on this far side. Featherstone had men on the overlap, and so it appeared that was the way to go, but as the wingman cuts across, he spots Davies is where it's at. They send it now in with Lockwood. He's got Featherstone just shy of the Leeds line.
Well, I must say quickly,
it comes out now, but Featherstone made the mistake. Mariano it was a bouncing ball, so Leeds come back with possession, and that chance for Featherstone has gone.
Well, it was a golden opportunity squandered there by Featherstone. It was a shame, really, because, I mean, Talapapa getting a foul there, I thought it was close to being a professional foul, because Featherstone had all the momentum and he was deliberately stopped short. So, but then again, I mean, with it being a friendly, maybe the referee happy to let a potential yellow card go. But then Mariano squandering that, such an opportunity, and it's such a shame as they work the ball away.
Patero now brings it up just short of halfway. Featherstone tacklers in, and I don't think John Duffy would be too happy with the way that Featherstone squandered that opportunity from that penalty. Mullally now shrugs off the first couple of tacklers but gets put to the floor. There's a scoot from dummy half from Ash Golding. He gets the ball on the inside and
it's
leads
Walters
her away.
now. Walters looking to get back to Golding. He goes himself. He's found a way over. He hasn't. He's just short. He's Josh Walters on the 5th.
And it's a penalty to Leeds.
Yeah, again, so I would say similar to the Fev incident. I think that was a professional foul as well. But Walters, what a tackle though by Wielden, coming in and never say down. I also tell you something, not bad for a man in his 30s there and of his size, Wielden. I mean, that was fantastic stuff. But Fev have got another 5 tackles to contend with here, Joe.
5 metres out, Leeds are, and they're coming forward. The ball goes to ground though, and if they manage to pick it up with Ash Golding, he gets it. He's 8 metres short of that Featherstone line. Coming from dummy half, Anthony Mullally drives it forward. He's got 3 Featherstone tacklers in attendance, and he is held up over the line, so it's going to be brought back 10 metres for a play the ball. And I think that there's an injury down there as well, because the referee's calling for some attention. Featherstone player it is. That's
Ian Hardman's the man down. He's found his feet, but the physios are going over to take a look at him all the same. Mullally's brought it out to the 10.
Somebody else, isn't it, that they're actually looking at? It's not Harman. Keil Carlisle got a head injury, I think, perhaps a little bit of blood, and that's why the referee said he needed a little bit of attention. He's just going off to the sideline. Looks like Matty Wildy, is it, that's going to come on for him?
Yeah, that's the interchange you'd expect. But Matty Wildy, then you don't often make that change when you're in defence, but Featherstone going to have to hold out here.
Yeah. So Mullally's brought it back to that 10 metre line, and it comes to Lilly, gets it across the face and out to that right hand side, but Featherstone defence is good over there. Little bit of a mix up from dummy half, but they're driving it forward 5 metres out. It's the last tackle now. Leeds Rhinos looking to get the first points of this evening on the board. A little kick comes through, but it's fielded, and they're looking. It's back to 1.
Well, that pass has got to be forward, surely. And it is, well, he's given it, but I think because of that as well, because it was off his leg, Featherstone, yeah, rightfully so, they're going to get the turnover here. So in the end, maybe a bit of justice there, because I don't know whether that was truly another set, but well done for Featherstone for surviving.
Yeah, forward pass was his call there, but I think he was playing advantage there. If Featherstone picked it up, chances are they could have been down the other end of the field, they'd have been laughing.
Briscoe it is with the ball. He gets tackled 20 metres away from his own line, and Wheeldon now bringing it forward, trying to make the hard metres.
Well, once again, this is relieving pressure. This Frankie Mariano taking it in now. But that Featherstone, they could do another strong set here. A line break would be fantastic, and a try would be priceless. Ridyard goes for a 40-20.
It does. It goes over the top of Golding's head, but it doesn't go anywhere near the touchline. So Golding collects. It was an early kick in the tackle count by Ridyard, looking for that 40-20. Not successful. Always worth a punt when you're that far in your own half.
Back in action again, though, Joe. 3 men there to counteract Golding as he looked to make his kick return, and Leeds not making 8 metres off the second tackle either.
So Leeds now bringing it forward, the 30 metres away from their own line. Corey Johnson patiently waiting for the ball to be played to him. He gets it to Lilly. Lilly shows the dummy and goes forward, but Featherstone tacklers are alert to it, and they bring him down on the halfway. He looks to have got picked up a little bit of an injury there, does Lilly?
Well, not good sounds there for the Leeds captain tonight, although he has the ball again, so he's not afraid to shy away from the action as he gets it to Ash Handley here, who once upon a time was playing for Featherstone last season on dual reg, must say there. So, but as long as Featherstone now can deal with the kick.
Last tackle there, Lilly puts the kick in, so his injury can't be too bad, and Ian Harmon's quite happy for that to go into touch. Just going back to that there, Patero seems to be offloading at will, doesn't he, at the moment? He's certainly being brought into this Leeds squad for his offloading skills by the looks of it.
Well, 3 men there for Leeds who are absolutely massive units, and Featherstone really struggling to hold Patero to the ground. Most of the field, they've got the size on this young Leeds team, but Garbutt, Patero, then you've got the likes of Ormonroyd and Mullally as well down the middle. They're struggling to take them up top and take them with just 2 men. It's taking too many to go in, and they are finding offloads. 17
minutes gone in this game. It is still 0-0 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Sean Robinson bringing the ball in. He's coming to the centre of the field, fancying a bit of the action as Luke Cooper takes to the field as well. He's the interchange that's come on.
Well, Sean Robinson there, I mean, he's just looking fearless, is the little winger there. He's just not afraid to run at anyone, and he keeps making at least 10 metres with the ball in hand as Featherstone try and get the ball out wide here, and Farrell breaks.
Luke Cooper has replaced Scott Wheeldon as Featherstone on the 40, and they bring the ball away to Lockwood, and Lockwood passes it to Cooper. Cooper puts a little sidestep in, and he gets the ball out to Josh Hardcastle to John Davis. John Davis is going for that try line. John Davis gets over the try line. Scores for Featherstone Rovers. First points on the board.
Featherstone Rovers throwing the ball around like the Harlem Globetrotters out there. Unbelievable drop off from Ridyard, sends Lockwood through, and then who knew that Lockwood had that awareness? Spots the men on the outside of him, and then you thought it was all over, but the ball comes out. Hardcastle's wise, and Featherstone find their way over somehow.
Well, it was awesome stuff, wasn't it? An awesome recovery there, but I'd say Ridyard was the architect in that with his drop-off pass, but I must say hats off to John Davis for the way he finished that off as well, because I mean, I personally didn't know. I was early into this. I personally didn't know he had such speed in him to get over such a manner. But yeah, well done to him. And once again, you never say die in this beautiful game.
And Luke Cooper, new entrant onto the field. First bit of action for him, and he has a hand in the try as well.
Yeah, Luke Cooper did unbelievably well. That was the point when you thought the move was over. But then he somehow found the way out for the ball, and credit to Josh Hardcastle as well there. He scoops it up and he's got the presence of mind. He didn't panic, and it's a situation where so many can.
Ridyard about 5 metres in from this right-hand touch line with the conversion attempt. He's just shaved it to the right-hand side of the post there as Ridyard, so unsuccessful in the conversion attempt. So it is Featherstone Rovers 4, Leeds Rhinos 0 after 20 minutes of play.
Well, it wasn't his best attempt, that I must say, because But then again, he was on the touchline and on his wrong side, so we won't be too cruel towards Rudy there. But now the important thing is they've got to bring away this kick-off properly, not go to sleep as we've heard them say on Sky Sports so many times.
It's not Rovers TV though, is it, Sky Sports?
We're a different breed here, Joe. I mean, we do it for the fans, we'll let them know that now.
Different breed, all right.
Jordan Lilly with the kick-off, it goes straight into the try scorer. John Davis's safe hands. He brings it up to just short of the 30-metre line. Wildy in at dummy half, gets it to Hardcastle. Yeah, I'd like to see that try back again. It was a nice try, wasn't it, from Featherstone Rovers as Briscoe brings it forward now.
Well, very good work there by Briscoe. I'll tell you something, Joe, you're all right about that try, and it's a very positive sound of things to come, because, I mean, the way they handled the ball there, you'd be thinking you'd be watching Super League action, and Cooper nearly breaking again.
Holmes with a flat pass to Cooper. Cooper just stumbles over that 40-metre line, and Wildy now gets it out to this left-hand side. Bit of a mix-up there from Featherstone. They eventually get tackled. It is the last tackle, and it's coming down that blind side again. The kick comes over the top, and it goes straight into the hands of Ash Golding, though, so perhaps not the best kick choice on the last there.
The unusual kick source of Connor Fowler. And
I thought that.
I think it's when Martin Ridyard's caught in the tackle there that there wasn't a contingency plan for who to get the ball to. Fowler, though, under the circumstances, did a decent job, and that chase again from the Rovers really doing them a service.
Well, after interviewing Farrell last week, I mean, I did ask him the question of what to expect from him in this game, and certainly wasn't expecting that.
Garbutt and then Mullally, the familiar two drives that Leeds are employing this evening, and now the ball comes forward once again just short of the Leeds 40, and it is the last tackle, so see what Leeds do now. They get it back to Lilly, and then the kick comes in for Sean Robinson to chase. He's on his own 10-metre line as he gathers it up and brings it back over the 30. That's a good drive back from Robinson. Carried Ash Golden with him for a few metres as we have another interchange here as Mariano comes off the field.
Brad Knowles comes on for Mariano, so he's got all to do. He's got to show what he can do in the middle of the park for Featherstone and prove he's worthy of a place at the start of that championship season. Tom Holmes looking to wriggle his way through. He finds the offload away to Briscoe. It's not blown up by the referee, so Briscoe keeps going. What a leg drive.
It was a nice little backdoor pass by Tom Holmes there as Briscoe plays the ball 30 metres out. Goes to Holmes. Holmes over to Ridyard. There's a gap over on this left-hand side if he can get it away, which he does, but then the ball's spilt, so Leeds come up with possession.
Yeah, such a shame that. I mean, Missy Talapapa, I thought he was going to get through the defence there, but he just went without it all of a sudden, so a bit unlucky there. But yeah, again, positive signs from Featherstone, because the attack really is looking fluent tonight.
Leeds bringing Cameron Smith on. It looks like it's going to be Anthony Mullally that he replaces.
With that hair, Joe, you can't miss him.
Are we talking Mullally or Smith? They're both got extreme haircuts.
Take your pick, Joe. I mean, as I said, just take your pick.
So Leeds just shot halfway. Lilly to Walters. Putting the ball out now to Wiley. He gets tackled well by Briscoe, though. Jimmy Kinehorst also was in that move.
Some youngsters on the fringes for this Leeds team, and they are really having a welcome to senior rugby from these Rovers players.
Walters taking the ball forward. There's a leg lift there. I think Featherstone are going to get pinged for it on Walters. It wasn't an extreme leg lift, but it was certainly above the horizontal.
Bit of silly play there from Featherstone, I must admit, because there was no need. They had Walters tackled as Leeds take the tap penalty and Richard Moore gets to come on the field. But yeah, again, it was needless from Featherstone, and unfortunately they've made more hard work for themselves here. Hopefully they can survive.
They have, because they were doing a good defensive stint there, but Leeds are 20 metres out now as they're taking the ball. They take it up to the 10-metre line. Ash Goulding
Cameron
in at
Smith there looking to play the ball. Goulding now brings it over to the left.
Yeah, they're taking it towards the line. Our Leeds Rhinos looking to get their first points of the evening. Comes to Lilly. Lilly goes direct himself, and I think there's a high shot there because he got crunched. Did Jordan Lilly? Perhaps thinks that wishes that he hadn't gone himself there after that.
Penalties just starting to come into the game a little bit more now. Featherstone inviting pressure upon themselves. They've got it all to do here to hold out Leeds, but they don't seem to have much about them other than the power play so far, this young Rhinos side.
Referee just having a chat with Ian Hardman there, perhaps saying, come on, we've had a couple of quick successive penalties, let's keep it clean, chaps. So Goulding gets the ball to Cameron Smith.
Yeah, Leeds looking the faster now. They're getting the ball out a bit here. They could get the ball out a bit here, but Featherstone still looking strong in defence as they come on the attack again, Joe.
They do, and the ball's whipped out, but Featherstone defence is good.
Oh, brilliant tackle there. I think it was John Davis putting it in on Mitch Gabbert one-on-one, but the danger's not over yet as Leeds come on here.
Great defence by John Davis yet again, crunching the Leeds player to the ground. There is still a couple of metres out of Leeds. Jordan Lilly in the action once again. He lays the ball off to Patera, who gets the ball away. He's certainly an offloader, is Patera. Gets it to Ash Goulding, but Featherstone defence is good. Chasing Goulding down. It was Hardcastle that did that. Lilly now gets the ball through to Jack Ormonroyd. It's the last tackle, so Featherstone done good in defence here. They're still 10 metres out, Leeds. It's on the last, so Jordan Lilly puts the kick over to the corner for Robinson. He leaps in the air, takes it well.
Outstanding defence there by Featherstone, especially in them latter tackles. Davis, who was an unsung hero in all that. And even Hardcastle preventing a quick play there by getting into Patera as well, as Fev now worked the ball away, Joe.
14 minutes left to half-time in this first half. It is Featherstone Rovers 4, Leeds Rhinos 0. There was a lift of the leg there. The Featherstone Rovers players are appealing. Sean Robinson wasn't happy at all. The referee's not given anything though.
Bit of afters there in the tackle between Garbutt and Robinson as well. Featherstone players complaining about a lack of consistency there as Moore breaks down the middle of the field. He's going to look to impose himself on those big Leeds units.
Last tackle, so the kick comes from dummy half and it's retrieved at the back there for Leeds, and they bring it. Ooh, and that was a cruncher of a tackle. I think it could have been a bit of a high one.
Yeah, well, Tom Holmes, I mean, it was a crunching tackle. I mean, the Leeds player, he's completely flat out. I'm struggling to see who it is because it's not Ash Goulding.
No, Ash Goulding, I think, has gone to hooker.
I think it's Jack Walker who's come on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he came into the Leeds team last season, did Walker, and I'll tell you something, he really felt that. If he was feeling tired or anything, I mean, that certainly woke him up.
Yeah, it's certainly a wake-up call for him coming onto the field, isn't it, there? And yeah, Ash Goulding seemed to be playing at dummy half up the other end, so Walker's gone into that full-back role.
Yeah, I think everyone in the stands felt that hit. It was a case of when a player's coming at speed and he is caught too high, it looked horrendous. I don't think the contact was awfully high. It slides up and it is dead bad. It's a penalty, no doubt about it, but it's just one of those unfortunate circumstances, I think.
Yeah, so the kick comes into touch from Leeds. They're going to take the tap on their own 40.
But once again, Featherstone need a big defensive set here, and perhaps some more big hits here as they put one in there on, I think that's Smith again.
Cameron Smith, yeah, he's taking it forward. 3 Featherstone players in attendance though. Ash Goulding in at dummy half, like I say, he's gone into that hooking role since Jack Walker came on the field. Patera taking it forward. Featherstone wrap him up this time. He's not able to get the ball away. He's not happy. He's having a bit of a chat with Richard Moore afterwards as Josh Walters brings it forward, but John Davis is there to meet him with Luke Cooper. Tom Holmes putting the third man in. Patero passes it to Lilly, who sells the dummy to Brad Knowles, but Matty Wild is great. It comes in great there, and Ash Goulding now from dummy half gets crunched by Cooper and Davis. 12 metres out. It's the last tackle. It comes out to left-hand side with Walters. Walters taking it forward on a power play. Perhaps not the best option on the last. It's going to be the turnover. Featherstone Rovers, another good defensive stint.
I don't know what it is, Joe. I don't know if it's the scrum cap, but we are seeing vintage John Davis tonight. He's absolutely everywhere in defence, and he is thundering up at some players.
He certainly is. He's really on it tonight, isn't he? In his tackling and in his attack, he's scored the try as well. So vintage performance, as you say, by Davis. As Featherstone bringing it away, having to bring it from deep within their own half now, and the ball's driven forward, taken up to the 30-metre line.
Must say, just below us, Gareth Hockey's rearing to come on for his Featherstone Rovers debut. I just thought I'd note that Featherstone fans has come on the attack here with Talapapa.
Yes, the Hawk is about to enter the field. Coming down the blind side now with Connor Farrell. Connor Farrell's on a break, looking to get the ball away, not able to. It's the last tackle. So it comes to Ridyard to put the kick in. And it's come back up to Featherstone Rovers. They've got the ball and referee says play on. It's the last tackle. They put the kick in again and Leeds retrieve it.
Yeah, ruled not played out there by Leeds, but Featherstone respond well once they get the ricochet, and not a bad place to turn over the ball there, and a great defensive effort here on this second tackle. Moore forcing them back there, and Leeds just over their line.
Moore's looked like a man possessed since he's come on. He's certainly injected a lot of energy into the Featherstone defence and attack. So Leeds having to bring it this time from deep within their own half, and that's a great tackle. Once again, it's the Davies-Cooper combination, both of them working really well together in defence.
If Richard Moore's a man possessed, I don't know what those two are at the minute. I mean, they've both been outstanding themselves, of Cooper and Davies, and this is also a great defence from Featherstone, forcing a panicked kick option there from Leeds, and Feather going to get the ball back in good position here with Sean Robinson.
Robinson brings it forward, he gets it to Ian Hardman. Hock has come onto the field. Gets a bit of a cheer from the Featherstone faithful as Featherstone bring it over that halfway line now.
Well, I wonder where this ball might be going.
No, Missy Telepapa takes it forward himself. He decides to have a bit of the action, takes it up to just short of the 40.
He's an impossible man to tackle. They just could not haul Telepapa to the ground there. Wildy, dummy, somehow finds his way through. Featherstone now, just 25 metres shy of Leeds line.
So Wildy plays the ball and it comes to that man Gareth Hock now. He passes the ball and it comes to Ian Hardman, linking up to Hardcastle. Hardcastle gets tackled 5 metres out. It's the last tackle. It comes back now with Featherstone with Hardcastle to Holmes. Holmes goes to leap in the corner for the try. Think he could have got it.
Yeah.
He certainly has. What a great effort by Tom Holmes to get the ball down in that right-hand corner, doing the Missy Telepapa Superman leap.
Well, who needs Missy Telepapa when you've got this youngster in your team? That was fantastic play. I mean, Holmes, he showed the dummy first of all. I mean, he got the ball back to Ian Hardman out the play side. He got the ball back to Hardman, who then switched the direction back to Hardcastle, then to Holmes. And it was a supreme try, that of diving in the corner. And as I say, started by Telepapa at this club. Who needs him when you've got Holmes to leap over in the corner in such a manner with acrobatic skill? Featherstone 8, Leeds 0, Joe. What do you think to that?
Unbelievable from Holmes. Not something that you expect from your scrum half, but as the ball comes across to him, he manages to do what's required. I tell you what, though, you could see those Leeds players, the moment Gareth Hock gets the ball, there's 3 of them stood there looking. They're all terrified. But he's got that ability with his hands that he can send it out the back and work himself as a foil. Featherstone then had space on the outside, and boy, did they exploit it.
Ridyard with an even trickier conversion attempt here. It's more or less right on this right-hand touchline, which shows how well Tom Holmes did to keep in the field of play. Ridyard strikes it. It looks to be good. Oh, it's just gone across the face of the post. It's not good at all. So Featherstone going up in 4s at the moment, 8 points to 0. They lead. There's just under 8 minutes left to half-time. And just going back to Gareth Hock, you look at him out there and, he's a man mountain, isn't he? He's huge.
Well, I mean, you're putting it figuratively there, Joe. Huge, as you could call him there.
But yeah, it could be the white shirt, I don't know, but he just looks to be twice the size of the other Featherstone players.
Well, I mean, you need someone like that in the side, because, I mean, especially tonight, looking at the Leeds team, we've pointed out Mitch Garbutt and Mullally, but Gareth Hock now to come in and match that, and here he is on the run here now.
And he's like a battering ram. He takes it forward, does Gareth Hock. The first drive forward is done with the ball and makes a good 10 metres. Now Richard Moore gets the ball back out. A good offload there, and Featherstone bringing it forward with Ian Hardman. Hardman eventually gets put down just short of his own 40.
We've seen in the last 3 plays some real variety from our forwards in that front row. We've seen the offload from Moore, and then we've seen Hock playing with the ball now as Davies looks to get it on the outside. Featherstone keep going though, and it's going to be the play of the ball, but we also saw that drive from Hock, and now we've got another one from him, dragging 3 Leeds players into the tackle and looking for this play just over halfway.
If John Davies could have got the ball away, then it would have been a great break by Featherstone. He couldn't. It's the last tackle though, just short of the 30. It's coming down to the left-hand side with Ridyard. He floats a kick over the top for Sean Robinson to chase, and he certainly does, and great cover defence by great kick chase, should I say, by Featherstone Rovers there after Ridyard floated that kick through.
Well, this is awesome play by Featherstone at the moment. I mean, I don't think Jack Walker really wanted possession there, having Tyler Papa and Robinson fly at him. And we'll go back to John Davis. He's easily proven a man of the match contender so far. He's been fantastic, and the team are really rising to their cause, and I think it'll only continue, especially with Hock out there now as he puts in a big hit there.
And Featherstone have been patient in this game, haven't they? It was scoreless for quite a number of minutes as Leeds are looking, though, to go expansive with the ball. But Featherstone defence, once again, with Holmes and Hardcastle is sure. And they're having to kick from deep once again with Lilliar at Leeds. And Hardman takes it on his own 30. So that's a great defensive stint once again by Featherstone Rovers to keep Leeds deep in their own half, and like I say, they've been patient, they've waited, and things are starting to come good for Featherstone, and the completion rate is good too. Wildy now from dummy half gets it off to Brad Knowles. He takes it over his own 40-metre line. Wildy gets it to Moore on the charge. Leeds defence just hanging back a little bit. They're not coming up as fast as they were earlier in this first half. Featherstone wearing them down a little bit, I'd say. And there's a delightful pass on the inside to Ian Harmon. It's the last tackle, 10 metres out. Harmon plays the ball. Wildy goes to the left to Ridyard. And Ridyard looking for the short pass. He then dances around because he gets caught, but he gets it away to Tyler Papa. The ball comes back in the middle and goes through a few hands, and Featherstone losing the ground a little bit. They're still getting the ball out, and they're asking for it to go back to one. It doesn't, though, so Featherstone having to come with Farrell. He takes it forward, and the referee says it's the turnover. Farrell, I think, was disputing it. The Featherstone fans over the other side also thought that Leeds got a touch there.
Unbelievable work from Featherstone, though, keeping the ball alive until that point, and it's certainly alive in terms of action over there. The players coming together, steam rising off of them, and might as well be steam rising off of them because it's getting to boiling point.
Is there any finer sight in rugby league than a load of forwards coming together and all the steam rising in the cold?
Well, the amount of innuendos you can get from that. But the thing is, I can understand Farrell, he has a case, because I mean, I could swear in the offload back there from Brad Knowles, at least player did get a foot to that ball, so the tackle count should have been wiped clean, but unseen by the referee, and Farrell was unlucky not to get through. But yeah, once again, touch of controversy there, but nevertheless, player goes on. And I'll tell you something, Joe, there could be more steam up here because Featherstone should be hard in on them here.
And I think, looking back on this first half with 4 minutes left to half-time, the defensive effort by Featherstone, if they can put Leeds scoreless into the half-time interval, Duffy will be happy, won't he?
Davis on Ormonroyd there with the tackle. Ormonroyd's twice the size of him, but he just made him look a mockery, and Leeds getting the ball away through Walters there, but Featherstone on a surge again every time the second phase looks to be on.
Look to be forward, a touch there to Jimmy Kinehorse, did that pass, but Leeds certainly know. He gets the ball away though, but the referee says no, I called held there. He thought he'd got it away to Ash Golding. Golding in at dummy half, and it comes now across to Lilly and across the face, and they've evaded the tackle by Tyler Papa of Leeds, so they're having a break down this right hand side, and eventually, though, the slip on the floor tackled himself, and it's the last tackle 25 metres out away from the Featherstone line, and it comes to Lilly. He puts a little grubber kick through. Robinson watches it though, and eventually dives onto the floor in the field of play. He says, "You're not getting me over the try line for a dropout."
Well, he did brilliant there, did Robinson, and I'll tell you something, even though he did tackle himself out there, well done Richard Moore for coming in and finishing him off there as Luke Briscoe tries to work the ball away. But Featherstone penned down here. Here's a test of how good they are in attack from deep.
Yeah, 10 metres away from their own line. 3 minutes left to half time. John Davis, certainly the man of the first half with the ball, gets tackled on his 30, 20 even. Josh Hardcastle now brings it forward.
Yeah, we saw some great cover defence over on that far side. Now as we get to the fifth tackle, Ridyard looking for the kick. It's a high one. Leeds looking to field it. They do so through Newman. He's fortunate to take it cleanly, but now sends it on the inside, and Walker bringing it up the middle, but that's a big shot on him from Knowles.
Brad Knowles on Jack Walker. Jack Walker must think, what on earth am I in tonight? That's the second big hit he's had of the evening, and his head must be rattling at the moment.
Oh, but that's a shame. Featherstone caught offside there. Perhaps a bit too enthusiastic in the defence there. John Davis is penalised for offside. And we've been singing his praises. I think we've seemed to put the mocker on him there. But nevertheless, another good test of Featherstone's defence coming up here.
Yeah, Davis not square the ruck there, but I think that's just the case of Featherstone being so eager. They're really dominating in defence and they're looking to get on top of this Leeds team. A little too eager on that instance though.
A little too eager, 20 metres out. This tap is going to be taken by Kinehorst. It's brought back by the referee.
Yeah, Leeds were maybe a bit too enthusiastic in being in the wrong position and wanting to get on with it a bit quick, but it's Jimmy Kinehorst who does, and here come Leeds now. Last hurrah of the first half for them.
It is, yeah, they're just about 15 metres out away from that Featherstone try line. Got 5 tackles left in this set to do something. Golding gets it to Walters. Walters drives it forward towards the posts, but gets tackled about 8 metres out. Golding now at dummy half, goes for a scoot himself, but Featherstone alert to it. That man John Davis there once again. He seems to be everywhere on this pitch this evening. Walters to Lilly. Lilly sells a dummy but then runs straight into Gareth Hock. He'll have wished he hadn't done that, I think. And it comes out now to the right side. That's a poor last choice kick. Well, a poor kick from Leeds Rhinos there.
Well, Harvey Spence was the man who had to kick there. It's been Lilly taking the bulk of the kicking duties tonight, and he's done well as Featherstone looked to take the quick tap, but they're ordered back. Jordan Lilly, though, he was gobbled up by Gareth Hock in the last tackle, and so there was no chance he could put boot to ball.
Well, I must say that a little bit of controversy there. Robinson was allowed to get the quick restart. I don't know why, because I mean, I could swear all the Featherstone players were behind the 20-metre line, so they should have been allowed, but nevertheless brought it back as Featherstone looked to go out on the last 10 seconds on a high here, Joanne.
Connor Farrell it is with the ball. He takes it up to halfway line. Got 3 Leeds players around him and he's still tussling with them, and he's getting into the mix. Richard Moore on that left hand side taking it, is looking to get the offload, but Leeds wrap him up on the 40-metre line on the Leeds one, and it comes into the middle now with Ridyard. He shows it and gives it to Luke Cooper eventually, but he gets put to the floor. Wildy takes it forward from dummy half. That's a great tackle on him though by Jack Ormonroyd, and it is the last tackle 30 metres out of Featherstone. Martin Ridyard, he shows it first and dances, shows it to Tom Holmes, doesn't give it, eventually gives it to John Davis who puts the kick in. Perhaps not the person you'd be wanting to put the kick in, but Jack Walker retrieves it, and then it's a great tackle by Matty Wildy on him.
Matty Wildy putting the shots on now. It's right across the park from Rovers, and now as we go into half time, I think in that half we learned that Featherstone are going to be a tough side in the Championship, and this is going to become an intimidating place to be. It
certainly is. 8-0 to Featherstone Rovers at the half-time interval. We had to wait for 18 minutes before the first try by that man John Davis, a well-worked try involving many of the Featherstone Rovers players in the build-up to it. And then on 31 minutes we had Tom Holmes diving into that right-hand corner, and unfortunately Ridyard unable to kick the conversions, but they were out on the touchline in fairness to him. I think going into that half-time interval, the thing that John Duffy will be most impressed with, though, if you were the coach, has got to be that defence.
Well, I mean, as figuratively speaking, as the All-Stars come on here, Featherstone are performing like All-Stars here, Joanne, because the fact is, as we said earlier, the way they've been playing, I mean, they've already proven tonight that this place is going to be a fortress this season as well, because some of the rugby league, the attack has been fantastic, it's been potent, and the defence, they really are not afraid to get stuck in and putting the hard shots on this Leeds Rhinos side. And even though Leeds have got quite a young side, they really don't know what's hit them, especially Jack Walker and now Jordan Lilly especially going in as pivots, and Featherstone they've done well to mark players out and put the hard shots in on them, Joanne, as well. Back to you.
We have got to remember they are a young Leeds side. We won't get too carried away with ourselves, but they are full-time. We did talk about this, you know, they're on the fringes of the Leeds team. Some of them are first teamers for Leeds, but the way that the Featherstone defence has actually bullied them tonight, I would almost say.
The way they've bullied them when Leeds are coming out of their own deep areas, but also ultimately keeping a nil against a full-time set of professionals in the first half of a game, I think that would be a massive target for the second half. If Featherstone can keep that going, it will be an unbelievable effort. It's not so much about the scoreboard. Yes, Featherstone are delighted to be in front at half-time, but it's the performance. They've outclassed a Leeds side with full-time professionals in that side.
And it was about keeping patient. It was 0-0 for a long time. Leeds have had the fair amount of pressure on that Featherstone line. The defence has kept them out. But it is about the fact that they kept patient and keeping patient, keeping your composure, and eventually the points will come, won't they?
Oh, they will do. I mean, and that's what Featherstone have succeeded with doing tonight, and hopefully can do against Halifax next week and beyond, Joanne, as we come back to you now.
OK, so we're going to take a break for half-time now. We will be back with you shortly for the second half, so don't go away. Welcome back to the second half of this pre-season friendly between Featherstone Rovers and Leeds Rhinos. It's the LD Nutrition Stadium. This is Rovers TV, brought to you by DJL Fencing. Just awaiting for the teams to come out onto the field. We've got Percy the pit pony mixing it up with the All-Stars cheerleaders down there. It's party time. He likes his jump around song, he does, Percy, doesn't he? He was twerking to it last week. We've not seen any twerking tonight. Seen a few somersaults. Cheerleaders, the All-Stars, looking splendid in their new kit as Featherstone Rovers come out in their kit, the home kit of the 2018 season. Ian Hardman leading his players out onto the field, and John Duffy will have been a happy man at half-time, I would think. A much improved performance.
Definitely. Featherstone, definitely no jet lag like perhaps there was last week. They're out there on the field, and the defensive effort was sublime. Going forward with the ball, Ridyard and Holmes linking up so well, and Tom Holmes in particular having his standout performance here, Featherstone Rovers shirt for me.
It looks like Danny Maskell's going to come on for this second half. He's come out onto the field and Scott Wheeldon's also returned onto the pitch. So a couple of interchanges at half-time made by Duffy.
Maskell on man with an opportunity today. He's got to look to seize it.
He has. We're just waiting for Leeds Rhinos to return. This is our house, Bon Jovi playing out. We're going to be hearing that every game, every home game of this 2018 season, because this is our house at the LD Nutrition. As Leeds Rhinos return to the field after a little bit of a delay, Featherstone waiting for them, although the referee's not out neither yet.
Percy getting restless there as the Leeds players going out onto the field, telling them it's about time. Just doing a little dance now. Mind you, when pit ponies do it, it's not a dance, is it? It's dressage.
It is dressage indeed. I think our Percy is definitely needs a gold medal for his dressage attempts as referees and touch judges take to the field. So we're all getting geared up for the start of this second half. It'll be Leeds and Jordan Lilly kicking the second half off. Just a reminder, Featherstone will be playing up the slope towards the new stand end in this second half. Lilly puts the ball on the kicking tee. Referee says yes, we're all ready, and the game restarts. High kick taken well. It's given to Scott Wheeldon. He gets tackled by about 3 or 4 Leeds players though. He doesn't make many metres forward, does it, Wheeldon there? Now it's coming to John Davis, the man with a mission in that first half. He takes it into over the 20-metre line.
Well, he certainly wasn't mission impossible, Joe. I mean, he did really well, and he's hoping for more of the same second half as Fev looked to really take it to this Rhinos outfit.
Luke Cooper just had to hold up there for the ball, so didn't get the momentum that he'd have liked to go forward, and he gets pushed back. The Leeds defence looking quite eager in this second half. I think they'll have had a little chat at half-time with Mr McDermott about their defences. Featherstone keep the ball alive there. Mariano, though, passes the ball to the ground, and Missy Talapapa unable to take it cleanly. It's a knock-on.
Moore finding the offload there, giving Featherstone that opportunity on the fringe on that second phase play, but Mariano just lacking some of the skill set to get the ball out. unaccustomed to being out there. Not often he's been found in the second row channel in pre-season so far, operating down the middle more, but generally I do think that's where he's more dangerous.
Yeah, so the scrum is going to take place 5 metres just inside the Featherstone half. Jack Walker it is who takes the ball up to the 40. Ash Golding in attendance at dummy half, and he brings it to Mitch Garbett, who's returned to the field. He caused Featherstone defence quite a few problems early on in that first half.
I was going to say, John, he's hoping they can really get into him here, but Leeds looking dangerous on this attack. Ooh, that pass could have been a bit forward, but waved away.
Looked a shade forward, didn't it? I thought as well too, Joe. So Leeds 20 metres away, so they're going to get an early chance of an attack, although that's a poor pass. Mitch Garbett, for a big man, did well to pick it, but then the impact of the tackle made him spill, so Featherstone are going to get the scrum here. About 20 metres away from their own line.
Oh, and he's walking away from that gingerly, his Garbett there. But, yeah, Featherstone, it's just what we needed there, John. A big hit on arguably their biggest player. And I tell you something, it really must have been an impact because he's gone down on one knee now.
Yeah, he did well to pick the ball up. It was a little bit off guard, and then the Featherstone defence came in crunching. I couldn't see who it was, but it was certainly a hard tackle on Garbett.
Yeah, it looks to be in real discomfort there, and that would be a massive blow for Leeds. He was of huge importance to them in that first half. Like we say, it's a young side out there, but some real enforcers down the middle of the park, and it would be a big loss for them to lose him. He's resuming his place in the scrum, but he can barely walk. I'm not sure what's happening there for a pre-season game. You expect him to be leaving the field. You
would, wouldn't you? He's certainly gone into the front row of that scrum in a very gingerly fashion. So the ball comes out of the back. Danny Maskell gets it to Talapapa, takes it over the Featherstone 30. He's trying to play the ball, and the referee's just not giving a penalty there, and Talapapa looks at the ref and says, really? So Sean Robinson now with the ball, taking it forward.
Well, I must say, Joe, that was an out-and-out penalty on Talapapa. I mean, you could clearly see he was tackled, trying to get up, but Leeds just kept hanging on, and the referee just somehow just decided to wave away. A bit of controversy, but never mind, as Maskell is there on the field now.
He is. He came on at half-time, did Danny Maskell. So Connor Farrell now takes it up to the Leeds 40. Featherstone in that Leeds half. Wheeldon just had to check a little bit, so wasn't able to get up the momentum that he would have liked to. Danny Maskell again in at dummy half, gets it to Holmes. Holmes puts a high left-footed kick up, and it's spilt, and Briscoe's chasing down, but eventually Jack Walker gets the ball, and the referee actually gives a penalty for offside.
Oh, unfortunate there from the Rovers. The pressure was a bit too good to be true there on Dakota Wiley, but he goes and drops it. They didn't need to be offside there. The opportunity was going to come to them, and perhaps a couple of players overrunning it there as well. If they'd held off a little more, the ball might have bounced kindly for them.
Well, Jack Walker just looking injured there as well. He's getting to his feet gingerly.
Well, that is what you call a get-out-of-jail card there for Leeds, because, I mean, they were in a right mess there. The drop ball, it was an unforced knock-on backwards, figuratively speaking. But, yeah, very much a get-out-of-jail card there as Mitch Garbett takes it in and looks to be recovering well from his injury already.
I don't think so. I was just going to say he's really hobbling out there. And, you know, if you were the Leeds coach, surely you'd bring him off.
It makes absolutely no sense in pre-season. You know, they've got plenty of men on that bench there looking for an opportunity. Why not give it to him? You know what Mitch Garbett can do. You want him to be able to do that and not be on the subs bench, or even worse, sat in the stands on week one.
Lilly gets it to Mullally. Eventually Garbett does leave the field, and Ormonroyd comes on. Lilly with the kick on the last. It's a high one, and it's taken well though there by Hardman. He gets tackled by the Leeds players 18 metres away from his own line. Talapapa now brings it forward.
Well, Joanne, it was very close that again, because Hardman, he did leap off the ground slightly, and Ash Hanley came in and he timed that very close to being in the air again. So this is what Featherstone have to be careful of, just to make sure to get these jump-ins timed correctly to avoid any injuries, I'm afraid.
Talapapa was pushed to the floor once again. He's getting a bit frustrated with the way that the ruck's not being cleared, but that's a great drive forward by Luke Briscoe. Luke Briscoe takes it 20 metres forward towards the Leeds 40, and again there's a messing around at the ruck. Briscoe's put back onto his feet and onto his backside, should I say. And
Davis now, that Starman again looking to get his offload away, but he can't do so. Featherstone men in support now. Maskell sends it to the right side. Holmes looks for the kick. He sends it on the inside with the outside of his boot, but it's retrieved.
So Leeds 10 metres away from their own line. They've got the ball in hand and they're trying to bring it away. Talapapa's there though in attendance, and that's a great pushback by the Featherstone Rovers defence.
Well, I'll tell you something, Joe, and Featherstone really are up for this, aren't they? I mean, they've still got the enthusiasm there, and I think it really is John Davis who is sparking them into life.
Mariano it was with Talapapa there pushing back, and Leeds bringing it forward. They're trying to pass it out wide to the flanks, but Davis, that man again, is there on the tackle. And Leeds still 30 metres away from their own line, and but that's a great drive forward over there on that left-hand side. It's the last tackle though, they were going to have to kick it. Lilly does. It's going to just bounce in front of Ian Hardman. He was going to take it on the full, thought better of it, let it bounce and retrieved it. So he's 5 metres short of his own 40-metre line.
Yeah, wise decision there from Hardman, and now Briscoe at the foot of the ruck sends it on the inside. Briscoe's been very impressive and causing a lot of trouble for Leeds with those leg drives like he did in the previous set. All of the outside backs for Featherstone making some real metres down the middle and causing plenty of problems.
Sean Robinson, one of those just then, a scoop from dummy half. Wheeldon tried to get the ball away to Luke Cooper. Unfortunately, a Leeds hand just got in because Cooper would have been in a gap there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Joe, that was a potential try saver there from the Rhino there, because, I mean, Cooper could have broken away and there could have been the support coming up from either Hardman or Tom Holmes, but yeah, still the positive signs are still there for Featherstone, and hopefully they can extend their lead here, but referee's called time off because I think it's Jack Walker again who's needs an injury seeing to. He's really been in the wars tonight, him.
I'd have actually backed Cooper to go himself there because he's no slouch, is he, for a forward?
No slouch, a lot of young nippy Leeds lads in that team, but definitely against most of the outfits Featherstone will come up against this season. From that kind of distance, he'd have probably found the way over.
So Featherstone here with Matty Wilder. He's going to put the ball into the scrum. It comes out at the back with Maskell. Maskell to Holmes. Holmes to Davis, but that's a great tackle by Jack Ormonroyd on Davis. Wheeldon now taking it forward. He gets it over the 40-metre line. Maskell waiting at dummy half. Misses out Cooper, misses out a few Featherstone players. Eventually, Hardman picks it up at the back behind the attacking line of Featherstone. 35 metres out. Richard Moore now driving it forward. That's a great run by Moore, and he gets the ball away. Wheeldon picks it up. Nowhere for him to go, though, and Golding tackles him.
Such a shame that by Moore. I mean, he did very well, but then after the offload, it was like slow motion, I'm afraid.
Wildy trying to get through. He just gets hung on by his shirt by Anthony Mullally. It's 20 metres out, and it is the last tackle. Maskell now to Holmes down the left-hand side. Holmes puts a kick in. It's picked up by Jordan Willey, though. He did well to trap the ball with his foot and then pick up.
Yeah, a bit of soccer skills there by the Leeds captain there, but I mean, well done for Hardman as well for remaining back and keeping calm, because Lilly, he could have hacked that ball past Hardman for himself to chase, and there was no one at home, and that's a massive hit. Luke Cooper this time again.
Luke Cooper, come to daddy on Patero.
Folded him like an ironing board, Joanne.
He certainly did. So halfway line, Mullally plays the ball now, and it comes to Lilly. Lilly to Smith, and there's a pass out wide now, and Harry Newman dodges on the inside, gets the ball away to Jack Walker. Jack Walker gets tackled on the 40, and it is the last tackle. Ash Golding in at dummy half, went left and then went right, gets it to Lilly, puts it up in the air. It's taken well by Ian Harman, and Talapapa shielded him well.
Sorry, I was going to say it could have been a penalty either way there, because I don't know whether Talapapa was obstructing the Leeds player, but however, Talapapa was then pushed off the ball and pushed onto the ground, so I mean, it could have been a penalty either way. I think that's why the referees just waved that away, and that's another strong drive by Luke Briscoe, Joanne.
It certainly is. Another strong drive by him, and now the ball's taken forward by Talapapa. As there's an interchange for Featherstone taking place. Maskell in at dummy half. It comes to Wildy, then to Holmes. Holmes drops off the shoulder and he makes a break. He's looking to put it through. He puts a kick through for Wildy to chase. Wildy collects it, gets tackled just short of the try line. It's the last tackle for Featherstone. It comes out to the right-hand side to Holmes once again, and Holmes is through, and he goes for the try and he gets over.
Tom Holmes is having his finest game in a Featherstone shirt. He sparked the try in the first half that kicked it all off, and now unbelievable work from the halfback. Finds his way through, goes with the kick, gets the ball back on that tackle, and somehow, with all that determination, finds his way over the line.
Well, I mean, with such skill there, Joe, I mean, Tom Holmes was Mr. Magic. I mean, the fantastic line break from halfway. And it was even his kick on the inside for Wildy. OK, Wildy was stopped just short. But even then, the delicate kick there, and then to get the ball out wide, Leeds rushed in on Holmes like a flash. However, just dropped the shoulder, managed to get through for his second try this evening. And he's really proving to be a contender for man of the match alongside John Davis.
He certainly is. 12-0 to Featherstone Rovers on the 10-minute mark of this second half. So Featherstone further extending the lead. Ridyard will have a chance to get his first 2 points of the game.
Ian Hardman's going to be the one to
Hardman,
take this conversion over on that far side. Difficult to see him under the lights so far away, but we know what he can do with a boot off the tee. He showed us that more than enough times last season as Luke Cooper leaves the field. Plenty of applause from the Rovers fans after what was a terrific tackle in that last set. And for me, that really spurred Featherstone on.
He's in such impressive form, is Luke Cooper, in these pre-season games. It's absolutely fantastic to see. He's been so patient to wait for his slot in the first team as Hardman, with this kick 10 metres in from that right-hand touchline. Another tricky one. And it's successful. Hardman adds the 2, so it is 14 points to 0 to Featherstone Rovers. 30 minutes left in this game. But just going back to the Luke Cooper thing, how impressive has he been in these 4 pre-season games? He's been so keen and eager to make his mark in this Featherstone Rovers team over the past few seasons.
Well, for me, people have talked about new signings. They've talked about down the middle. We've got Gareth Hawke, an ex-international. How fantastic is that? But then Luke Cooper's come in and he's improved so much as a player now, as all those Leeds players try to get on the try scorer, Tom Holmes. But Luke Cooper, to me, he's gone from being a solid, quality prop forward to one of the best in the division.
Most definitely, as his all-round defence attack. It's the Luke Cooper Appreciation Society up here on the gantry tonight, as it is John Davis as he gets tackled. Gareth Gale's on the field. You can't miss Gareth Gale, can you? He's tall, he's got red like Under Armour on, and he's got sort of blondie hair.
Well, Joanne, in a different respect to Luke Cooper, Gareth Gale there, the complete package, would you say there?
Possibly, as Wildy puts a kick in there. It was a crunching challenge on him by Cameron Smith, and the ball comes out now as Leeds bring it in, and 3 Featherstone chasers there, and Leeds get tackled about 30 metres away from their own line.
Certainly a package with fancy wrapping paper.
Oh, and Leeds make a mistake there. It was a poor pass. I think it was it Newman that had to reach forward for it, the young player, and just couldn't take it. So Featherstone going to get yet another opportunity. Scrum's going to be set 35 metres away from that Leeds line. Oh,
Joanne, that was the right schmozzle by the Rhinos. I mean, Ash Golding, I don't think he knew who he was passing to there. Just looked for any kind of runner, and Harry Newman had to be the unfortunate man for them to drop that ball, and unfortunately for them, he made a right meal of it.
Well, some terrifying defence from Featherstone. He's leaving these Leeds players panicked whenever they've got the ball, and they are desperately looking for options.
So the ball comes out of the scrum down that right-hand side. Ian Harman, he shows the ball to Josh Hardcastle, but he doesn't give it. So Featherstone looking to attack the 30 metres out. Hardcastle now does have the ball. Gets tackled. Maskell in at dummy half, gets it to Wheeldon. Wheeldon then passes the ball to Moore. Moore taking it over that 20-metre line, struggling with the Leeds players. Is a tricky customer. Quick play the ball, gets it to Wheeldon, to Wildy, to Hardman. Hardman had come into the line, but he knocks the ball on.
Yeah, it is obviously, whilst you say a lot, better conditions than it was last week. You can see the pitch starting to get a bit churned up by the mud, and couple of drop balls in this second half, I think, starting to show that.
Uncharacteristic error there by Ian Hardman as Tyler Dupre, who's a new entrant onto the field. He's a big chap, isn't he?
Well, I mean, figuratively speaking, yes. I mean, you could even say he's actually bigger than Mitch Garr, but we can let the audience decide that as Leeds come back on the attack now. And but yeah, Featherstone really are defending well once again. But I've put the mocker on them again because they've conceded another penalty, Joanne.
Wildy and Talapapa throw their arms down in disgusting back play there to see that penalty being given. I think Featherstone thinking they're a little bit hard done to, because there's a few instances where Featherstone have been trying to play the ball quickly and nothing's being given.
Well, Talapapa's used to getting a penalty every time he runs with the ball. He's an impossible man to keep down and always looking for that quick play. He's not been allowed to get it in this match so far. And yeah, like you say, expectedly disgruntled by the fact Leeds are being allowed to get the quick ball and penalising Featherstone when they don't.
Dupre now plays the ball, and now it comes across to Lilly, and giving it some width here are the Leeds attack, but the Featherstone defence is up to it, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving. I think Ash Hanley was trying to have a little set to with Gareth Gale. Gareth Gale says, I'm not interested, mate, I'm defending here. So Ash Golding in at dummy half to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd looking to break the Featherstone line. He half breaks it, but he's brought down 15 metres away from that Featherstone line. It comes out to right hand side to Smith. Smith puts a little kick through for Gale to chase. He gets pushed actually as he was trying to clear the ball, and referee's given a dropout.
Well, I must admit, Joanne, in the early tackle there, Wheeldon's miss, that was a rather lacklustre attempt, if I must say, from Wheeldon there. And you can tell because, I mean, he's struggling to get back in the defensive line. I think he's got an injury here as Scott Wheeldon. But with Brad Knowles down towards our right-hand side, I think he'll be coming on to replace him. But I'll just get onto the kick quickly as well. Gareth Gale might have had a little push in the back there by Ash Hanley. And who knows, tempers could flare between them two as the play stops here too, as Wheeldon gets treated.
Well, yeah, there was a little bit, like I say, Ash Hanley was trying to create something with Gareth Gale, but, Gareth Gale showing some maturity there, not rising to it. He was wanting to get in that defensive line. Luke Cooper's come back on the field for Scott Wheeldon. Scott Wheeldon was just holding his head a little bit. I think he's had a bang. So the dropout takes place. It goes to Ash Golding. He picks it up and lays it off to Ormonroyd. Tall, rangy figure of Jack Ormonroyd. He takes it to the 30, gets tackled. Now Smith with the ball, taking it up to the 20. 3 Featherstone players in defence. Featherstone will be keen to keep this Leeds Rhinos team out. They'll be wanting to keep a clean score sheet this evening. Lilly now gets it to... looks to be a forward pass there as Leeds are taking it towards that line. Now is it Josh Walters out there that gets tackled short?
Well, Joanne, I'll say quickly, there also could have been a hint of obstruction in there, but nevertheless, play goes on as Lilly comes on the attack here.
Yeah, Lilly goes one way and then cuts back the other, but he gets tackled on his own 10 metre. Well, it's about 8 metres away from the line, and now it comes into the middle with Tyler Dupre. He turns, he looks to offload, but the Featherstone players do well. They wrap him up. It's the last tackle now for Leeds Rhinos. Dupre's going to play the ball just a metre out, and Leeds going for a scoot from dummy half. They might have got over here. And they do on the last. That's disappointing for Featherstone, I'd imagine.
A disappointing way for Featherstone to concede their first try of the match. Defence has been impenetrable so far when they've been on their own line, holding Leeds out no matter what they tried, and then a simple scoop from the foot of the ruck is not what they would have expected to finally find that breakthrough.
Yeah, it was, I'd say this, once again, lazy defence there from Featherstone. They just seemed in a bit of disarray, but credit to Leeds for taking advantage, and I think it was hooker Corey Johnson getting over the line for a try there. I mean, he didn't have to do much. Some people say, but it was Kieran Cunningham, it was a style try, but no, but he did. I would say he didn't have to do much. He did well though, but and he's put Leeds right back in this contest. We're in for an interesting last 23-24 minutes here.
It was the drive from Tyler Dupre, wasn't it, that brought them close to that try line, and it was the last tackle. Perhaps Featherstone expecting them to pass it back for a kick from Lilly, but fair play to Johnson as the conversion attempt comes in from Lilly. He gets it, so it is 14 points to 6 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. 22 minutes remaining in this game.
Yeah, you often see that kind of opportunism from a young hooker when they're coming up in their first couple of matches. It's an easy way to impress, getting yourself on the score sheet, and also it's so difficult when you're down the centre of the field, finding a way to get the ball out to one of your halfbacks quickly.
Well, once again, Featherstone, they've got to make sure this is a delicate kick. I'd go along again with this, obviously, still winning. But but they've just got to keep composed now and really finish off this game in mature style.
So Hardman it is, in the absence of Ridyard, Hardman takes that kick off. Ball's brought forward by Ormonroyd. He takes it up to the 20 metre line. So Leeds perhaps with a bit of renewed enthusiasm now, although that's great defence by Featherstone on Cameron Smith, the Mariano, Cooper and Lockwood pushing him back. Featherstone will want to get back to that defensive effort, even though they've had a little bit of a breach in terms of that Johnson try. So the ball's brought forward there by Pateru. He takes it over the 40. Comes to Lilly. Lilly lays it off now to Smith. Smith brings it up to the halfway, and it's the last tackle as Leeds bring Ormond Royd off and bring Ben Markland on. It's the last, so the kickers come in. Briscoe is going to catch it, and unorthodox style by Briscoe there, that little leap, I'd say.
It was effective, though. He managed to come away with the ball, and that's all you can ask for. You've got to say, though, in the build-up to that, unbelievable defence from the Rovers again, forcing Leeds to kick from their own half.
Certainly was. Gareth Gale now getting a little bit of the action. He takes it over his own 40. Like I say, Ben Markland has entered the field for Ormond Royd. Talapapa takes it over the halfway line, pumping those legs, putting that leg drive in. 4 Leeds players around him. He's trying to get to his feet to play the ball. He goes down to the floor, looks at the referee again and says, surely. And Tom Holmes, that man, the 2-try hero this afternoon, gets the ball out to that right-hand side with Josh Hardcastle. He takes it over the 30. It's the last tackle for Featherstone. So the kick comes in, left-footed kick, high into the air. And it's taken well, though, by Ash Golding at the back.
Well, I must say, Ash Golding did really well there for Leeds, but as did Tom Holmes in the previous tackle there. I mean, they were in a flash again, as Featherstone are now on Leeds as they keep the ball alive. But yeah, Tom Holmes, great recovery, and he got the ball out to Hardcastle. And once again, he really could be the man to decide tonight's clash.
Yeah, the ball being kept alive there by Leeds Rhinos. They're 10 metres away from their own line. Featherstone coming in on them quickly, wanting to make sure that they stay deep within their own half here.
Featherstone completely dominating this play of the ball now. They're not getting penalised, and yet they're still managing to hold it up, peeling off one at a time. Now the ball high. It's going to be Gale who takes it. It bounces behind him, so he's trying to retrieve it from quite a distance. 4 Leeds men up on him. Tries to get around the outside, but it's Harry Newman who's across to meet him.
Talapapa goes down the blind side from dummy half. He gets tackled just short of halfway. Wildian waiting for the play of the ball. He gets it to Hardman. Hardman takes it over halfway now, 5 metres inside that Leeds half. Keil Carlisle's back on the field.
Hasn't got a number on, Joanne. I mean, what's happened to his identity?
I think we can recognise good old Keil. So he's there at dummy half. He's replaced Maskell. Luke Cooper now taking the ball forward. Cooper gets up to the Leeds 30 and it is the last tackle. So it's going to come to this left-hand side to Wildy to put the kick in. Wildy puts a high one. It's a hanging one, but it's taken well once again at the back by Golding, safe as houses.
Yeah, well, another good kick and chase about Featherstone. I think Golding's picked up an injury here because he's gone into the tackle rather awkwardly, and he has. I mean, as Carlisle and Farrell have called over the water carriers to come in and treat him. But yeah, I think it's a leg injury for Golding there, and not the best of signs there for the Rhinos.
Golding looks to be in a lot of trouble down there, a lot of pain as the physios come on to look. Is it his left leg, I think?
Yeah, definitely looks to be a concern. They are looking at his left leg currently.
It was Mariano that was in on the tackle on Golding. He came away holding his hand a little bit as well, so I'm not exactly sure what did go on down there. I mean, he took it so well, did Golding, and it, like I say, he has been safe as houses at the back, hasn't he, for Leeds when we've been putting the kicks in. But the doctor's on there, and it is looking a little bit concerning. And you know, somebody like that who will feature in the Leeds team this year and possibly feature in dual reg from a Featherstone point of view. So I don't think either coach will want to see him injured.
It's pretty much a 50-50 between Jack Walker and Ash Golding, who's going to get that first choice spot at fullback for Leeds, and then you would expect the other one to be available on dual reg for the Rovers, but that immediately cuts those options in half. It looks like he is going to try his best to continue here. Not sure the physios would agree with that.
I think the doctor was saying he needs to come off, and I think he is doing it. Again, it's a pre-season friendly. There's no point risking these players, is there?
Definitely, because the moment that you've got any kind of joint injury, you start to try and counteract and compensate for that. and particularly in cold weather like this, that can cause you to get a muscle tear or any kind of issue. It's just much better to take the precaution and come off the field.
It is because that, you know, it's not about that is it, this kind of game. It's about just testing your players, and that was another great tackle coming in from Hardcastle, and Davis out on that left-hand side of the Leeds attack. Perhaps not so good that time because it was a high tackle and Featherstone had been penalised for it.
Yeah, silly play there from Hardcastle again. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but he's just undone the Featherstone team's very good work in defence there with that silly head-high shot, which was needless because, I mean, they had him tackled. I think it was Jimmy Carnos over there. They had him tackled. There was no need for it, but yet again, swinging arm. It just goes to show, I mean, they've got to be more mature than that. I mean, a complete lack of it there as Leeds come back on the attack again as they work their way back into this game through Walters again.
Great tackling once again by Featherstone. Luke Cooper and John Davis, that combination, it's lethal. The Davis-Cooper defensive combination. You won't want them to tackle you at all.
It's the worst band name I've ever heard.
It's a super group. Anyway, the ball coming from dummy half. The try scorer, Corey Johnson, takes it up to the Featherstone 40. The ball's played and Leeds look a little bit at 6s and 7s there as the ball's taken forward. They're not sure what to do in attack. Carlisle on the defence, and it comes now to Spence. Spence gets it back on the inside, and they're keeping the ball alive here at Leeds. This is better play from them. Again, backdoor passes coming out. Johnson dancing around. Holmes tries to get to him, he can't. Featherstone not able to put Leeds to the ground. They're keeping it alive, but eventually they do. It's the last tackle, and Leeds are 22 metres away from that Featherstone line. They bring it down the left-hand side. Lilly with a little kick through, and it's tried to be cleared, but that will be a Leeds try by the looks of it, down in that left-hand corner.
Well, Leeds find their way over. It's a dive from Briscoe, but he just can't quite reach the ball. Ball in hand, Leeds couldn't find a way through, but it's the kick for the corner, and it comes up trumps for them.
Well, unfortunately, I think I've once again jinxed Featherstone there, because I went and said that they had to be more composed and mature, and Edmund Briscoe was anything but that in the kick and chase there. I mean, it was fast and furious, but what Briscoe maybe should have done, just calmly slotted the ball out with his foot, a bit of soccer style, but unfortunately, he tried being a bit more, well, for sure really, about diving on the ball and maybe conceding the drop out that way, but he should have just put a calm foot on it and booted it out, and instead he's conceded the try to who I think is the winger Dakota Wiley, as Leeds now through Jordan Lilly have a conversion attempt on the touchline.
A little bit gloomy in that left-hand corner for us to see. It's a far left-hand corner. We can't quite see who it was, so we are guessing it could be Wiley with him being the left wing. Jordan Lilly, as Joe says, fairly difficult conversion attempts that he's got. Just in from that left-hand touchline. Featherstone fans trying to put him off as much as possible, banging that DJL fencing advertising hoarding. Kick comes in. It's successful though, so they didn't put him off enough. 14 points to 12. Featherstone in control in this game, and suddenly they're just 2 points in ahead with 15 minutes left.
Yeah, a bizarre way to concede 2 tries. They've been so imposing in defence. They've looked impenetrable. Leeds haven't been able to find a way through, but then it was a nothing try when they just scoot over from the foot of the ruck. Featherstone will be very disappointed to concede that. And then the kick to the corner, that's always going to be a lottery, and Briscoe, I just don't think he could quite reach it enough to be able to take it in.
Couldn't know, so the kick-off comes from Hardman. It's taken well, though, by Leeds and Newman, and he brings it forward over the 20-metre line, but he gets crunched by Farrell and Cooper.
As long as Featherstone can keep their defence up here, then they should be all right, but Brad Knowles struggling there, makes a good tackle in the end there, but once again, Featherstone, they've really just got to be strong here and really keep getting in Leeds' face as they come forward here, Joanne.
Jordan Roberts, it was that Knowles tackled. He gave him a little push back onto the floor. The referee could have penalised him, but he didn't. So anyway, Leeds are coming down that left-hand side. Featherstone defence in on them, though, and keep them just within the Leeds half, just by a few metres.
It was Tom Holmes again springing up on the fringe. He's had a fantastic second half to top off what was very creative display in his first half.
He did. So Leeds tackled. It's the last tackle, the 5 metres just inside the Featherstone half. The kick comes from Spence. Featherstone under it with Ian Harmon. He takes it well. Gets tackled 22 metres out.
Well, Jordan Lilly, he had to back off there because, I mean, he was a good yard or two in front of the kicker there. And he actually, in the end, he never gave Hardman the 10 metres there, but nevertheless, play goes on.
So Josh Hardcastle now taking the ball forward in the centre of the field. Gets tackled just short of his own 40. Now it comes to Talapapa. Talapapa battering it in against Corey Johnson. He gets the ball out the back. Referee says that he'd shouted held though, so it will come back to Talapapa to play.
Bizarre, completely fine with the referee calling held, but no one was letting go of Talapapa.
Yeah.
And so he's either got to be allowed to play the ball or allowed to offload it. It's got to be one or the other.
I quite agree, Joe. And the kick comes from Wildy on the last. It gets retrieved at the back there and brought in, and Featherstone chases good though, and the tackle leads on their own 10.
Well, it was a good recovery tackle that by Wildy and Farrell, because I mean they came up together but then they drifted apart and it was nearly exploited there by the Leeds winger, but thankfully they just stuck to him like glue, and they've got to do the same here as Leeds work the ball away.
Knowles and Mariano with a combination then on Leeds, and Leeds players will certainly know that they've been in a game with some of the hard hits that Featherstone are putting in.
Definitely, they're showing that hard and tough and gutsy side that we were promised they'd be in pre-season, and we were promised that they would be in the championship campaign to come.
And just to show the Featherstone defensive effort there, the last tackle was on the 40. Jordan Lilly's put a high kick in for Briscoe. Briscoe lets it bounce and Leeds are chasing it. They hack it forward, but Gareth Gale comes up with the ball and takes it forward.
Well, who needs Joe Hart in your football team in goal when you've got Gareth Gale there? I mean, that was quick reactions to catch that hack on by, I think it was Josh Walters doing it, so well done to Gareth Gale there. Featherstone back on the attack in a good position as well.
He's actually got the build of a football goalkeeper as Gareth Gale, hasn't he? With his tall, rangy stature. So Featherstone bringing it forward. Connor Farrell, he gets tackled on the 40.
And don't forget, as much as Joe Hart, as I'll say, I think Gareth Gale takes care of his hair just as much as well.
Yeah, certainly. Same colour nearly. There's an injury down there. Brad Knowles just getting up to his feet a little bit gingerly. Mariano on the charge. He takes it forward. It's 25 metres out. Last tackle for Featherstone. What can the Rovers do? Keil Carlisle's waiting for it. Comes out to Holmes. Holmes with a little kick out into that left-hand side, but the chase wasn't there really from Briscoe, was it? And Leeds take it cleanly.
No, just not able to get on him quick enough, but Featherstone do wrap Leeds up before they can make that kick return effectively, and Leeds coming out from deep in their own territory here.
So Leeds, yeah, like you say, deep in their own territory. That's a great ball though, and almost away, but Harry Newman just loses his foot in, thankfully for Featherstone.
Well, not thankfully for him, because I mean he's picked up a knock there from Luke Cooper, who came in and really laid a big tackle on him there. And Newman, I mean, this looks serious for him as well. He's struggling, Joanne.
Yeah, they are struggling with a few injuries tonight at Leeds, but they still keep getting to the feet, and they're passing the ball out now down that left-hand side, and Featherstone just struggling a little bit to get to Leeds, eventually put him down, and it's the last tackle. It's a bad pass to Lilly. He recovers well and manages to get the kick away, and it's a good kick, but Hardman comes in for it and takes it well, and he lays the ball off to Gareth Gale. Gareth Gale gets wrapped up though on the floor by Thomas Holroyd, who's a new entrant onto the field, and now it comes out to Missy Talapapa. Talapapa takes it forward. He gets tackled just short of his own 40.
Lilly really testing the Rovers back line with these high bombs, but they're finding the answers time and time again, and they keep going forward now.
Yes.
Featherstone now earning a penalty. That
Certainly.
leads line offside, and there's huge cheers from the crowd behind us.
Josh Walters was more or less sat on top of Josh Hardcastle when he received that ball. If it hadn't have been an offside penalty there, I think I'd have been shouting at the ref. Never mind the Featherstone fans.
Yeah, it was a blatant penalty there, Joe. I mean, offside, laying on, take your pick, as Tom Holmes once again, contender for man of the match, puts in a good kick to touch there, and possibly, I know, even if they do get over, and it's a bit early to speak, possibly Fev are seeking a match winner here.
Tap on the 30. It's 9 minutes remaining in this game. The drive goes up to the 20-metre line. Featherstone looking for a quick play of the ball, but the Leeds defence don't allow that, and it comes now to Wildy. Wildy gets it to Brad Knowles, who takes it forward, drives it down the middle to just short of that 10. Carlisle with a retrieves a quick play of the ball. It goes to Cooper. Cooper to Holmes. Holmes with a pass over the top to Briscoe. Briscoe gets bundled into touch though. Good Leeds sliding defence to make him do that.
Featherstone looking to be expansive though, looking to find their way over in the corners. Ultimately they're against a full-time side, plenty of fitness. You got to expect their sliding defence to keep going like that right till the end of the game. But they are looking to find those openings and very nearly did there.
So, like I say, 8 minutes remaining. The scrum's set on the 10. Leeds going to get the put in.
Once again, John, they've just got to come up with a big defensive show here, Featherstone. And as always, even though the fatigue factor's coming into the game now, hopefully, no penalties.
Yeah, that's certainly not what they want to do. They want to keep Leeds deep in this their own half as Leeds are putting an expansive though. They go around Gareth Gale and the ball's brought down this the right hand touch line with Dakota Wiley, the try scorer. Comes onto the inside to Lilly. Leeds just looking a little bit fresh out there at the moment as Holroyd is tackled just short of halfway. Coming back to that man, Lilly, he's been involved in a lot. That's a great tackle by Tom Holmes though on Spence. He spotted the move that was on there and came out of the line and made sure he got Spence tackled on halfway. Coming down the left-hand side, they're keeping the ball alive for Leeds at the moment, and Featherstone just struggling to put them to the floor and they get tackled, but the ball comes free. Referee waves the tackle count clean, so that's bad news for Featherstone. Leeds still got the ball in play. They eventually get put down 35 metres away from the Featherstone line, and they've got plenty of tackles in this set. Lilly, once again.
Well, Joanna mentioned the fatigue factor earlier, and I think it really is coming into play now. Leeds seem the more energetic of the two sides, and Featherstone are just starting to fall off the tackles here as Leeds continue the attack here through Lilly.
But Cooper gets in, but Lilly gets the ball away. These offloads are killing Featherstone at the moment, and they get it out to that right-hand touch line, and Featherstone bundle Dakota Wiley into touch. I think, no, he didn't. He got the ball down. The referee says that it is a try for Leeds. I thought that they'd managed to get Wiley into touch, but they hadn't, and he gets the ball down for a try.
Well, it's a courageous effort from Matty Wilde. Attempts to get over and barge Dakota Wiley out, though. It's a dive from the youngster, and somehow he appears to have found his way over in that corner.
Well, I'll tell you something then. I think the referee was about to disallow that try, actually, because, I mean, he went into the corner flag, but as we know, the corner flag does not count. And I think they've got the decision right, because I didn't see his foot or anything on the touchline, and he got the ball down cleanly. So, yeah, that's a fair try, that, for Leeds, and fair play to him. It was a great build-up, and deservedly so, I'm afraid to say. They're in the lead here in the latter stages of this game.
So it is Featherstone Rovers 14, Leeds Rhinos 16. As Joe says, the latter stages of this game, 5 minutes remaining. Featherstone just letting this lead slip. They were in front by 14 points to 0, but Leeds coming with those 3 tries just to nudge themselves ahead in the game. Jordan Lilly with a difficult conversion attempt, though, on this right-hand touchline.
Yeah, that repeat set just killed Featherstone off there, really. Invited Leeds up this end of the field, and Leeds have just spent too much time on the Featherstone line in this half. It's given them opportunities, and on 3 occasions, they've taken it.
They certainly have. Featherstone making a double interchange there. Mariano and Cooper leaving the field.
I'll also say in that attack as well, I think Gareth Gale was a bit guilty for shooting out of the defensive line a bit there, and Leeds exploited the gap, hence how Wiley got in for, we think, his second try as Jordan Lilly puts that attempt well. So not all doom and gloom yet for Featherstone. They could still pinch this back, Joanne. 2
points in it. Featherstone 14, Leeds Rhinos 16, 5.5 minutes remaining. Wonder what kind of kick-off Featherstone will employ here. Are they going to try a little short one, do you think, or go deep?
Well, why not, Joe? Pre-season, surely that's what it's for. You've now got to look at this as a game situation. You're 2 points behind. Going into the latter stages, final 5 minutes, what do you do?
Well, let's see what they do, and they do a deep one, but they're going for touch, but it's well fielded there by Newman. Ooh, and he gets the ball away. I thought Leeds were going to drop it. They juggled with it, but eventually caught onto it and get tackled just short of the 20.
Well, that takes the same flirting with danger to a whole new level, because, I mean, both of them, Harry Newman dodges taking that ball in, and then Thomas Holroyd catching the ball. And also, as he announced over the PA system, Tom Holmes is tonight's man of the match, and I think they've just got the decision might have got the decision correct there. Do you agree, Joanne?
Close run thing, and Featherstone have got the ball here though. This is important. They're 20 metres out, and Luke Cooper's taking the ball forward. I thought he'd actually come off the field, but he hasn't. So Luke Cooper's got that ball. It's 15 metres away from the Leeds line. Carlisle gets it out and to Mariano, to Holmes, the man of the match. Holmes is wrapped up though. That's good Leeds defence. These Leeds youngsters don't want to let the lead slip now. 4.5 minutes remaining in this game, and it comes forward for Featherstone Rovers, 10 metres away from that try line. Can Featherstone just nip a late one to win this game? Comes out to Wildy to Hardman, and it comes over on this left-hand side, but the Featherstone are tackled just short of that try line. It is the last. The ball bounces to Wildy. Wildy puts a little kick through. It's well fielded by Leeds though, and they survive.
Well, Talapapa was just shy on the fringe. Maskell not too far away on the far side, but Featherstone just unable to find a way through.
They were, but Leeds are 5 metres away from their own line. 4 minutes remaining in this game as the tackle comes in.
Well, once again, Featherstone doing well in defence, but they've got to keep Leeds pegged down here. They've got to force them to kick from deep here and hopefully get in good field position to mount another attack, Joe.
Ooh, and Leeds have lost the ball once again there. It was number 16, Josh Jordan Roberts who was coming forward, and he lost the ball. Perhaps a little bit of nerves slipping into this Leeds attack at the moment. That's two mistakes they've done on the bounce in their set, deep in their own half. So Featherstone will be wanting to get the ball from this scrum and see if they can get over. They don't want to lose their unbeaten record of these pre-season friendlies, no doubt.
Definitely, it'd be great for them to go into that start of the championship campaign, have a 100% record in pre-season, having faced two Super League teams.
That's great. The ball's thrown into the scrum by Farrell. I think it was Mariano. It hit on the back of the head there. He won't thank him for that, I don't think.
Yeah, well, he might thank one of his teammates here if they can get over the line, Joanne. But I'm confident they can, because the attack has been quite potent all night. It's whether they can execute it when it matters most.
Wildy lays the ball off now, and it's taken forward. The 20 metres out are Featherstone. Carlisle in at dummy half. He gets it to Wildy. There's a move on here for Featherstone Rovers. Hardman gets it to Hardcastle, but Leeds are alert to it, and they tackle Hardcastle 15 metres away from the line. It comes to Holmes. A lot of responsibility on Holmes at the minute, and Wildy, the half-back partnership. It comes to Farrell. He dances around and eventually decides to lay it off to Talapapa. Talapapa comes back into the middle of the field, taking the ball forward. He gets tackled 10 metres out. Still three tacklers round Talapapa. Eventually he gets to play the ball to Carlisle. It comes to Holmes once again. Run around with Cooper. Holmes out to Hardcastle to Briscoe. Briscoe's in that right-hand corner. Featherstone Rovers score. 2 minutes remaining in this game, and Featherstone go in the lead, 18 points to 16.
An unbelievable finish from Luke Briscoe over on that far side. Every time Tom Holmes gets the ball, there's three Leeds players trying to get around him. They're trying to put Holmes under the hammer. They've seen his man of the match performance. They've seen what he's capable of, and it's creating space on the fringes. They shipped it out, and what a finish from Briscoe.
Well, I mean, acrobatic style again from Luke Briscoe there. I mean, and you've mentioned, Joe, that Tom Holmes, he's had an outstanding game, and I really think he's cemented his place probably as a starting player for Featherstone this season.
Possibly so, with this man of the match performance, and since Ridyard went off at half time, it's all been down to Holmes to take charge. He's had Wildy there at standoff with him, and it's been up to him to take charge, hasn't it?
Featherstone have looked effective with their set plays, but for me the most impressive thing about Tom Holmes has been his ability to read the Leeds defence. He's a man who plays what he sees, and that's coming to fruition for Featherstone. And
I love to see a scrum half like that, the unpredictability, because you don't know what he's going to do sometimes, do you? And that's a good thing.
Definitely.
A lot of people say rugby league's very predictable in attack these days. Tom Holmes isn't. He's an exciting player, good to watch. Difficult conversion attempt once again for Ian Harman. He's out there on that right-hand touchline, but with less than a minute left on the clock, I'd imagine that it perhaps doesn't matter that much, but we shall see what he can do with this. It's 30 seconds remaining in this game. So Clock stopped at the moment. Referee waves time off as Hardman comes to strike the ball. It's not going to go over. It's well short.
And well wide, I think, as well, Joe. And you can tell that's how tired he's been.
It was a tired attempt, weren't it? Yeah.
Definitely was. From one of our more experienced players, we'll call him that.
So 16 seconds remaining. I'm guessing this will be a short kick-off from Jordan Lilly. We're on to the 10-second mark, so it really, really will be the last play of the game. Will this kick off? It certainly is a short one. Can Featherstone deal with it? No, they can. It comes off a Leeds player, comes off a Featherstone player. Not exactly sure what we're doing. It's a knock-on, so it's going to be a put into Leeds. They form the scrum really quickly, but that's the end of the game. Featherstone Rovers come out victors. They're unbeaten in this set of 4 pre-season friendlies. They will go with an unblemished record into that league game with Halifax on Sunday the 4th of February. Get down to the LD Nutrition Stadium, pack it out and shout on and cheer on these Featherstone Rovers players. It's going to be an important season, is the 2018 season. So Featherstone coming out victors here, 18 points to 16 here. John Duffy probably going to be a little bit pleased with what he's seen this evening.
Definitely, that Featherstone side put out a real performance to top off what's been a fantastic pre-season. The perfect setup for what I'm sure is going to be a fantastic championship season.
Well, I mean, in these 4 games as well, I mean, not only have they got 4 wins, but some of the rugby they've played has really left teams for dead, and Leeds certainly have been like that as well. I think Leeds had their period in the game where they did score them 3 tries, but perhaps fortunate to even be in the game, I'm afraid to say, because Featherstone really did take it to them. I mean, they weathered the storm early on, and then late on as well. They're forcing the error in getting over the line, and very positive signs heading into this season, because even though they got a tricky start, I think they're more than up for it, and they're more than capable as well of giving every single team they've played this season, never mind the start, a good run for their money.
It was Luke Briscoe, it was, with that all-important late winner for Featherstone this evening. So thank you to listening, thank you to subscribers for listening to Rovers TV this evening. We'll be back, as I say, on Sunday the 4th of February with live commentary for those of you that can't get down to the LD Nutrition Stadium, but if you can, please come down. It's going to be a cracker against Halifax.